Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at what was added in patch 4.10. Check out the approximate release dates of some of the new ships currently in development, and also discuss the latest roadmap update, which is confirmed the long-awaited addition of Nix 1, along with the new Genesis and Planetech V5 technologies in patch 4.11. Which is expected to release around the middle or end of September. Now, let's quickly go over what was added and changed in patch 4.10. First, we have the new instancing system, which is a very important mechanic, because it allows developers to create locations with restricted access and dedicated missions. This means that no players who is not part of your group will be able to enter your instance and interfere with your mission or kill you. This should significantly improve immersion while completing missions. It also allows an unlimited number of players to complete the same mission in the same location, without interfering with each other, because a separate instance is created for each player or group. This was also the only system mission for the creation of new locations that bring sandbox content to landing zones, such as municipal works in locations like Area 18 and Levski. These locations could appear in the game relatively soon, although we don't know exactly when yet. For now, the new instancing system is being used in the Siege of Orison and for Reco Battaglia, who was added to the game in patch 4.10. You can now meet here personally in Levski, inside a separate instance, and take some missions for here. Some missions will also require you to visit here in person to complete them. The item recovery system was also added for ship equipment, and the vehicle shop received the Drake Clipper with upgraded components and a unique livery. The new super heavy armor was also added in patch 4.10, together with the Vendetta heavy machine gun, which can only be used while wearing this armor. However, regular weapons were also added, including the Head-by Gunworks All-Ringtone rifle and the new Head-by Gunworks S2 optical sight. New creatures called Stormwolves were also added to the game. At the moment, they can only be seen after completing the Siege of Orison. Patch 4.10 also introduced several new rendering features that should slightly improve performance. The amount of both quantum and hydrogen fuel was also changed, along with the consumption rates. The quantum travel speed was also changed, so traveling between locations now takes less time than before. The Aurora Mk1 was also removed for the in-game shops. It was one of the first ships added to the game. At the locations where it was previously displayed, it has now been replaced by the Aurora Mk2. The Aurora Mk2 has also been added to the in-game shops and can be purchased at Teach in Levski and New Deal in Lorville. Its models can also be purchased at Teach in Levski. Several other new ships were added to the in-game shops as well. The Misk Halby is now available at Teach in Levski and New Deal in Lorville. The Drake Golem OX can be purchased at New Deal in Lorville and at Pyro Station dealerships. It is a small ship capable of carrying up to 64 SCU of cargo. The Kruger L-22 Alpha Wolf can be purchased at Astro Armada. And at Coves and Crows in Orison, you can purchase the L-22 Alpha Wolf weapons separately and install them of the Krugel L-21 Alpha Wolf. The Greycat UTV is also available at Astro Armada. It is a small off-road vehicle capable of carrying a 1 SCU cargo box. Patch 4.10 also introduced a new ship called the Kruger S-65 Stingray. It is a fighter, although we don't yet know whether it will be classified as a light or medium fighter. What we do know is that it has a very unusual shape inspired by a stingray, which is where its name comes from. The ship is also designed to use 3 different wing configurations. However, we don't yet know exactly what the third configuration will look like. We'll only know for sure once the ship is added to the game. Now let's talk about the RSI Galaxy. The Galaxy passed its white box gate at the beginning for this month, and additional art resources have helped significantly advance different parts of the ship, including the lower engineering area, upper corridors, model lower section, and rear hangar. 2 new images were also released showing the engineering area and the bridge of the ship. The RSI Galaxy is expected to be released during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Now let's take a look at some of the new ships that are expected to be released over the next few months. Approximate development deadlines have been set for these ships. However, keep in mind that these are not release dates. They are deadlines by which CG reportedly plans to finish development, with the ships expected to be released sometime after that. Also, this information comes from insiders and has not been officially confirmed yet. So, here is the current list of ships and their estimated deadlines. First is the Anvil Auxilia grow-up vehicle, which has already received a sneak peek, along with the Greycat MFC. Their deadline is set for the end of August. Next is the RSI Skylark, with a deadline around the middle of September. Then we have a new ship from Origin, called the Origin M60, with a deadline set for September 22nd. Next is a new Xi'an ship, called the Gatak Haiyan, with a deadline set for September 30th. After that comes the RSI Constellation series, with a deadline of October 13. The plan is to upgrade the new ships to the Mk5 version and bring the current Mk4 models up to the gold standard. Next is the Drake Marauder, with a deadline of October 19. Then we have the Anvil Liberator, with a deadline currently planned for February 26, 2027. Development is currently behind scheduled because one stage took longer than expected. However, because of this, the team was able to build a stronger foundation, which could speed up the following stages and reduce the delay. And finally we have the Drake Kraken, with a deadline set for the end of March. It certainly passed its grey box gate, and the developers have confirmed that it will appear at Invictus 2027 as the headline ship of the event. And now, let's finally move on to the biggest news, the latest roadmap update and the confirmation that Nyx 1 will be released together with Genesis, Planetary Q5 and other new content. Let's take a closer look at the roadmap, starting with the most important part, Nyx 1. Nyx 1 is the first planet in the Nyx system. According to the game's lore, it is a coreless planet that was originally unsuitable for life and terraforming. However, using the experimental technology of Genesis terraforming, the terraforming of Nix-1 began in 2954. It was transformed from a dead planet into a green world, with a diverse and resilient ecosystem capable of supporting a wide variety of life. This is the same planet that was shown to us during the previous CitizenCon, and it will finally arrive in the game this September. We should also remember that 2 more planets are planned for the Nix system, Nix 2 and Nix 3, which will be added sometime after Nix 1. One of the developers, Will Hain, also shared some information with players. He said, "I don't want to spoil the surprises for the other planets, but you are going to be blown away. The outposts on Nix-1 will be new and will not follow the same style as those in Pyro. Everything that was shown in the Nix-1 preview during CitizenCon 2025 is expected to appear on Nix-1 in patch 4.11. Nix-1 will also be the first planet where base building will begin, which is currently planned for next year. The new Nix-1, along with all future planets, will be created using the new Genesis technology, including Planetech V5. If you don't know what Genesis is, this is essentially a collection of different technologies related to the creation, population, and simulation of planets. Several cards in the new roadmap are dedicated to these technologies, and they form the foundation for the creation of Nix-1 and all future planets. Planetech V5 is a complete rework of the planet rendering and generation system. It completely changed how planets are built, populated, and rendered. Plants and rocks will now be distributed according to natural environmental behavior instead of simply being randomly scattered across the planet. And most importantly, for performance, object generations and spawning are being moved to the GPU, allowing for denser environments while improving rendering performance. Will Hain also explained that Planetech V5 turned out to be better than expected. The current main focus is performance and moving as many computational tasks as possible to the GPU, although there is still a lot of additional work being done. He also said that Planetech V6 is not currently planned. Instead, the next major step for planetary technology will be a change to the height pipeline. This means real mountains and canyons. The height pipeline is the least affected part of Planetech V5, although the offline side of it has changed significantly. He also confirmed that rivals will not appear with Nix-1. There is a new technology that could eventually be used to create rivals, but it wasn't ready in time for Nix-1. They may be added in the future, but for now nothing has been confirmed. He also explained that Planetech V5 is currently not being used in Squadron 42. It was developed directly within the starcitizen codebase, so Squadron 42 uses somewhat different technologies. Next we have Genesis Starchitect. There is a new procedural world buildings technology that automatically distributes sectors, clusters, and locations across planetary bodies, while simultaneously constructing locations from different modular pieces. This should allow the system to create unique locations and automatically populate them with the necessary content. A new set of Starchitect missions will also be added. These missions are designed to keep players on planets for longer, with a focus on more localized objectives, because all of these locations will be connected to each other. Another new technology is StarCitect Poise. This will add new ground locations belonging to different factions, offering a variety of procedurally generated combinations of buildings compositions. These locations will support a wide range of mission archetypes and gameplay loops. To populate all of these locations, another new Genesis technology will be added: Population Manager. Its main purpose is to balance population load on the server and create inhabitants that match the local environments while also providing more complex interactions between agents based on dynamic context. The game will also finally receive the new heavy combat armor, which was first shown during CitizenCon 2954. At the time, CG said that this armor would be resistant to being knocked down by shots from light firearms. However, it is still unclear whether this feature will be implemented when the armor is released. A new light machine gun will also be added: the Kastak Arms Verdict LMG. This is a medium-large weapon that heats up through continuous fire and then releases devastating overheating plasma projectiles in an alternate firing mode. Its design also strongly resembles the Karna rifle, which is produced by the same manufacturer. Another new weapon will be the Kastak Arms Helion pistol. It is a high-velocity plasma weapon that creates dangerous areas of effect, allowing operators to quickly deploy multiple zones of damages across the battlefield. And finally, one of the smaller but still interesting additions is the implementation of 3 new eyebrow styles and an update to 6 existing variants to bring them up to the current visual quality standard. New Vikelo ship rewards will also be added. One of them will be the Aegis Tiburon, which recently appeared in the game. And that's everything for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!